Welcome to this astrological and energetic update for the month of August. We are experiencing very intense energies, and Mars will start a new energetic firework when he moves in the sign of Virgo, which could be the start for a new big topic. And what this topic could be, more about in a moment. A warm welcome to you on my YouTube channel. And if you want a weekly energetic and astrological update, please subscribe to my free newsletter. There I share every week a lot of information with you. Also, I started my Heart membership. There you are part of a community who is closer to me. You can ask me your personal questions. There you get channelings and a lot of meditations, energy transfers, and also more information about what is coming next. So if you are interested in my Heart membership, then please also look to the link below the video. And if you want to learn Vedic astrology, I have a free workshop where you can start. You can start to find out what the meaning is of the houses and the signs and how to read a birth chart. Let's start with the energy update for August, because August is very special. We will experience a lot of changes and transformation with these special energies. And when Mars will transit on August the 19th in the sign of Virgo, this will trigger a very, very intense constellation, astrological constellation. But let's start. We start with a full moon on the 1st of August, and we have this month 2 super full moons, very special. And the moon brings a lot of changes and transformation with it, because the moon is the planet that is mostly waxing and waning. And this brings a lot of things to our awareness. And when the moon is so close to Earth, and you can look in the early morning, you see this big moon. It's amazing to see it. It will bring also a lot of our emotions up. And with this special trigger, Mars, this will bring up a lot of anger, of fears, of aggression, and also a lot of negative energies. But it also brings a lot of awareness, so it can open a brighter understanding of your own life. And when the first full moon will take place on August the 1st at 8:30 p.m. in German time, at 15 degrees in the sign of Capricorn, and I'm speaking of Vedic astrology. This is a completely other system than the normal known here Western system. In Vedic astrology, we are very connected to the stars, to the energies of the stars. It is called a sidereal system. And sidereal means a system that is connected to the stars. More than the Western system is more connected to the sun and the cycle of the sun, and we are more connected to the moon, because the moon stands for our own awareness. And this first full moon will happen in the nakshatra Shravana. In Vedic astrology, we have lunar mansions. We have 27 lunar mansions. And this lunar mansion and those lunar mansions, they bring up special characteristics of energies that help us to understand more of ourselves and what is happening. And this lunar mansion Shravana is connected to the symbol of the ear, and it is about listening. It is about our perception, and it is the lunar mansion of the moon itself, and this brings a lot of moon energy. And it is connected mostly to our intuition. And Capricorn, where the full moon happens, is connected to governments, to leaders, to old structures. And very, very an interesting thing is that the sun is at a full moon always in the opposite sign. And there at 15 degrees in the sign of Cancer is a very important fixed star. And this full moon is almost exactly on this fixed star. And this fixed star is called Ascellus Australis. And it stands for stubbornness. It stands for very powerful people who do not avoid conflicts, and they are often business people. And when you hear those characteristics, you might think of a special person. And yesterday, when I made the script for the video today, I saw in the morning a short video from Donald Trump. It was a speech about children trafficking. That's what's coming up this time. And how he wants to punish those abusers. And this is really, this comes up short before this full moon on the 1st of August. It is really amazing. And Donald Trump speaks mainly of this topic because of the movie Sound of Freedom. Maybe you have heard of this movie. It was produced from Mel Gibson. And in this movie, it is about children trafficking, and mainly also in connection to Hollywood, what happens there. And so nothing in the universe is an accident, because the planet Jupiter was in the transit over a very special fixed star in the sign of Aries, El Sheratan. And El Sheratan is connected to children and to the abuse of children. And when Jupiter goes over this not so easy fixed star, this means Jupiter is the planet that brings light, that brings wisdom, that saves the children. And so this is all connected. And also, when now Mercury and Venus and Mars are in the sign of Leo, and Leo is the 5th house of the zodiac, and the 5th house is connected to children. This means it brings up those topics. And Venus is now retrograde. This means we have to look back. A lot of the planets are at this time retrograde, and I will speak about this a little bit later. But this means we have to look back. To go in our future, we have to solve the problems from the past. And for this, those topics are now in the news. And therefore, Donald Trump speaks about this, and this is also connected to the next full moon on the 1st of August. It's amazing. Everything you can see also as a reflection in the stars. And yes, and so Venus retrograde, and also Mercury, and Mercury will also go retrograde in the sign of Leo on the 23rd of August, and I will speak about this also a moment later. So this brings those topics to the surface, that we can see them, and only if we recognize them and see them and do not close our eyes, we can solve them, and we can help those children, and we can stand up and say something should not happen again. we do not really understand how powerful we are. And if we clear our own belief system and we clear our negative beliefs, this will help us to create this power in us that helps to solve all the problems here on earth. But this is not an astrological advice, it was just coming up. So let's go further. We have Yod, a very special constellation in the sky, and I spoke about this Yod in the last update, in the last July update, and this Yod is now more triggered because not only Mars is in the sign of Leo, also Mercury and Venus, and they are in an aspect to the planet Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. This is 6 signs away, and also to Neptune that is 8 houses away, and this special constellation, a Yod, is called the finger of God. It is about our destiny. And this happens when those planets are in this special constellation in the 6-8 position. And this can bring up a lot of also political upheavals, because Pluto is in the lunar mansion of the Sun, and the Sun is about leaders, and Pluto is the strongest energy that is connected to transformation. And will bring a lot of topics up, and maybe also with this children trafficking topic, this can change some political decisions, and can change also what the collective will experience in the future. And so we will see what will happen, but this special constellation will be very active. And then we have also a new moon, the next new moon, that will happen on August the 16th at 11:38 a.m. in German time in the sign of Cancer. And Cancer, where the next new moon happen, is in the nakshatra, in the lunar mansion Astrological. And Astrological is also not an easy nakshatra. And this new moon, and when a new moon happens, this means the moon and also the sun are at 29 degrees. And at this degrees, there we have the Gandanta. It is the border between a water sign and a fire sign. And it is connected to the Hydra, like I told in the last video. And this is the snake with a lot of heads. And it is like a beast. And there we have the new moon. So this means that we can feel, because the sun and the moon stands for our awareness, how we feel, who we are, and where we are. And if this full moon happens at these degrees in the Gandanta, this can bring a disoriented feeling, because the sun and the moon gives us also a kind of direction for our life. And the Hydra is also connected to deception and also illusions and deceit. And we will see what it will bring up. And Venus is at this time in retrograde. And I also spoke about that Venus will also transit over this Gandanta again, and this will bring a lot of rain and storms, and we are now seeing in the world a lot of those floods and storms happening. And this can also bring up the topic I spoke often about, that the financial markets might start to fall. But we will see it maybe more in October, but it could start then when we have those energies. And many planets are in retrograde motion at this time. And Mercury, like I told, will also go retrograde on August the 23rd. And we have a retrograde Venus, we have a retrograde Saturn, and soon Jupiter in September will go retrograde. Uranus will coming soon, and I will speak about Uranus in a moment because it's also very important for this constellation that will start on the 19th of August. And we have a retrograde Neptune and a retrograde Pluto. And retrograde planets means they all look back. They look back and say, stop, we cannot go forward before we look what all those things that are not solved. We have to solve those old stuff before we go forward. So this is very important, and they will bring our awareness to those old topics, maybe our memories, and also where we did not do the things we should have done mostly. So those retrograde planets help us to look back and to correct things, and then we can move on. And Mercury will stay in the sign of Leo until the 1st of October. It will also go back to the sign of Cancer and then stay also in the sign of Leo. And Leo is also connected to trade and to trade agreements. And when Mercury becomes retrograde, this brings up difficulties in communication and in transport and also in travel and in computer problems and delays. Because when this communication is not really good working, then we cannot really good connect to our laptop maybe or our iPhone. So it is a time where it's really important to save your documents in a good way and then to relax a little bit more if you have to travel, that there could be some delays. And Leo is a very fiery sign. And we have till 19th of August also Mars there, and in the start of the month also Venus. So there is a lot of fiery energy in place. But this also helps us to go out of this feeling to be very tired and the feeling of exhausted, that you are exhausted. With those energies, you might start something new projects. You maybe have new inspirations, what you want to do and bring in the world, and start your own creations. The 5th house, Leo, is connected to our creations and also to create children. And then we have this very special constellation. Mars will transit in the sign of Virgo on August the 19th. And the sign of Virgo is connected to health, but also to diseases and illness, and also to our enemies. And this can bring up with this special position of Mars, because in the opposite house of Virgo, we see the retrograde Neptune. And Neptune brings up all kind of deceptions and those that you cannot see really clear. And Neptune is also connected to health crisis and also maybe also sometimes to death. When you see in a birth chart that Neptune is in the transit above important planets in your horoscope, this could also mean that sometimes it brings death with it. Not always, but it could. This means a health crisis could start, is one of the possibilities. But it is only a possibility, because we can read those energies, those constellations. But what will exactly happen is always in the hand of humanity. We decide how we play out those energies. So this is also important to understand. But not only with the transit of Mars in the sign of Virgo, this could be a reason for this health crisis. We have also the change of the lunar nodes at the end of November. The lower lunar node, which is called Ketu, will also transit in the sign of Virgo. And I know in the Western system, I think the lunar nodes changed this month, but in Vedic astrology, it is in another way. And they change at the end of November in the sign of Virgo and Pisces. And this is the axis of health. And the lunar nodes are connected to the destiny of humanity. We will experience new topics. And so this could be a possibility. And what this all makes it so meaningful, when Mars will transit on the 19th of August in the sign of Virgo, it will create another intense yod, another finger of God. With the planet Saturn in the sign of Aquarius and Jupiter, Rahu and Uranus in the sign of Aries. They are all in a 6-8 relationship. And Saturn has his third aspect to Jupiter, Rahu and Uranus. And very special at the next full moon on August the 31st in the night, German time in the night at 3:35. The moon is with Saturn in the sign of Aquarius and in conjunction at this full moon with the fixed star Fomalhaut. And Fomalhaut is a very auspicious fixed star, a very bright. He is one of the royal fixed stars, of the 4 royal fixed stars. And Uranus becomes retrograde one day before. And when Uranus becomes retrograde, when a planet becomes retrograde, it nearly stands still. And this makes it 10 times more powerful. And Uranus is intense powerful. And this can literally break things up. And bring, with Uranus stands for unexpected events. Suddenly, unexpected things that can happen. This will bring a big change. But I think it will bring a big change for the good. Because this full moon is exactly with the fixed star Fomalhaut. And Fomalhaut is a good energy. It is an energy that is connected to us all, to humanity, to the collective. And it brings a lot of positive, high energy to the people, awareness to the people, positive changes. This I can see with these energies. And sometimes something changes at the first, when we look at the first time we think it is a negative thing. But if we really understand it, then we can see that it brings up positive results for us if we are open. And this is also the new energy. We have to understand that no matter what happens on the outside, it is all about changing your own beliefs, understanding your own energy, level up your own frequency by doing the things you love mostly. And this makes you really completely free from all those things that happen on the outside. And this we will learn more in this new energy area, in this new timelines we can now reach, that we understand more and more we are totally independent from the outside. It is all about changing ourselves and our energy. This will change our world. And if we all do this, this is an intense wave of energy. We do not really know and understand how powerful everybody is here on earth. With this I will end, and please share this video with other like-minded people, and thank you so much.